Welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning into this video. As you see by the title, today's video is about the Specialized Tarmac SL8 Expert. Wanted to give my thoughts on the bike, how I feel about it so far. Had the bike for 6 to 8 weeks now. Put about 700 miles on it. And all that mileage has been outdoor riding, give or take the circumstances of weather, whatever it may be. Luckily, we've been blessed with pretty good weather so far, with over 50 degrees, give or take, up to the day before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And then I wanted to discuss what I've done to the bike besides the initial video of the unboxing and then any future things that I plan on doing with the bike. So let's get right into it. Okay, so getting into the bike itself, as you see, most of the parts are mostly the same. The biggest thing, as you can see, is the Specialized logo decal. Ended up printing holographic decals. Went to my local Michael's, got some permanent vinyl, got an SVG file online, measured it and cut it, so it's pretty much a 1-to-1 fit. Have it for the Specialized on the down tube, the head tube, and then the seat tube. So those are the main ones. It's also on the other side. And then for this particular Tarmac Expert colorway, when it came out by Specialized, it did not have any on the fork decals or on the lower seat stays. That is the first big difference. Second change so far is the Force Rear Derailleur. So this is the Force D2, rainbow sticker looking rear derailleur. Not a huge difference in shifting quality between Rival and Force and Red from what I've read. Same thing with the front derailleur. The biggest thing for me was it was close enough in a price where when I sold my Rival rear derailleur, it would only be about a $60 difference to upgrade to the Force. So I thought, why not? Shifting quality is the same. I believe the pulley wheels are a little bit better, obviously a little bit lighter, but overall quality is the same. And then another upgrade done was swapping over from the Paceline rotors that came stock to the Centerline XR rotors. These are about 30 grams lighter per rotor, so front and rear. Got them for a pretty good deal. You can find them all over Facebook, eBay, so on and so forth for a good deal, but do watch out for some fake ones because I know they do make fake ones of these. So just be careful when you are purchasing them. Look at the box, look at those type of things when you are purchasing them so you make sure you get an authentic brake rotor. Obviously having brakes is one of the most important things on a bike and you do not want to compromise there. I don't have experience with the fake versions or the non-OEM. They could work well, they may not. I don't want to risk it until there's a little more research done out there, so I end up with authentic rotors. So that was another upgrade. Now moving on to the pros and cons of the bike overall. For the pros, I am pretty content with the bike overall. I would say after my 700 miles or so of riding, it's very comfortable. I like this a lot more than the TCR. Have a similar reach to stack ratio. Similar build overall, same handlebars as the front of the TCR moved over to here. Just riding this bike, I don't really notice that much discomfort. I rode the bike on my longest rides about 54 miles, 2 hours and something minutes on a group ride. Did not experience any discomfort compared to my TCR where I would experience it after an hour or two. So that's a good plus. Another thing to note is the lightness of this bike. And I know from Specialized, they mentioned that the Fact 10R, which is the Expert and Pro models, or just the frame set itself without the S-Works logo, is about 80 grams or 100 grams heavier than the S-Works model. I don't really notice a difference in that regard. I did not get an S-Works model. Maybe in the future when I have a lot of money lying around or if I really want one bike, then I will end up with an S-Works. For now, the Expert Pro model frame works very well for me. It is lighter than any other frame I've ever had. And even at the stock configuration, when everything was a straight Rival, alloy handlebars, stock rotors, whatever it may be, it felt very light just picking it up. So with my updates and my upgrades, I'm shaving a couple 100 grams here and there, and then whatever future enhancements I have, hopefully even lighter, and we'll keep it as is. And then another thing to note about this bike is it holds its speed very well. I know there's claims like over 40 kilometers per hour or X amount of miles per hour. You save X amount of watts over a Tarmac SL7. That stuff I probably wouldn't care too much about. Obviously it's great to have. You do have aerodynamics, and then in the SL8 you have the speed sniffer compared to the SL7. This bike does hold speed very well. I have no issues riding with other people when aero bike, faster bikes, For example, in this stock configuration, so once I upgrade tires, wheels, whatever it may be, it'll just be either less effort for me or I'll go even faster than them. Not the best comparison, but I do feel like this bike is very, very good for what it does. Being an all-rounder, it climbs very well, it holds speed very well, it's comfortable, it's compliant, stiff in the right areas. Completing sprints or doing sprints, no issues whatsoever. Going up a climb, I don't feel like heavy. Obviously, me myself, I do want to continue to train working on hills, as that's not my favorite thing to do, and we'll work on that. All right, getting to the cons of the bike. So my number one con, and this is just kind of Specialized as a whole, is the price of the bike. As I mentioned in my initial unboxing video, I did not pay MSRP for this bike. MSRP for a Tarmac Rival Spec Expert is $6,499 or $6,500 USD, and I think that's way too much for a bike of that caliber. If you look at other brands, Giant TCR, I believe they're selling theirs with carbon wheels, 105 DI2 or Rival for around $6,000. And now that you see the new 2025 Scott Addict RC, which is marketed as one of the lighter bikes, they're selling their RC30, which is their lowest model, with 105 DI2 carbon wheels for $4,909 or $5,000. I think that Specialized does need to come down with a little bit on their pricing to be even more competitive. I was lucky enough to get this on discount. You can find a lot of the Tarmac SL8 Experts on discount for even lower than what the SL7 is asking for. Definitely take a look at your local bike shop, see if they have inventory that's been sitting a little bit. I'm sure they're willing to work a deal with you. But my number one con with this bike is mainly the price. Would I buy it at MSRP? Probably not. With the price I paid on sale, I'm very content with it. It was in the 4 range. All right, my number 2 con really isn't a big con, but it's the colorway of this bike. It is pretty bland. That might be good for you if you like black and blue, I guess, before the decals were put on, or black and white bikes. I do love the simplicity of it, but I also like that with bikes, you do have a unique color, so you stand out a little bit more, whoever you're riding with. You're riding by yourself. If your bike gets stolen, you obviously know which bike is yours. So in this case, having decals put onto it, if this ever gets stolen, I know that I'm probably one of the few or only one in the area that has that. And then with my different setup, another thing to note is they did come out with 2 other colorways in this Expert model for 2024, which was another gray and black logo, and then a satin indigo, which looks a little bit of purple and matte with white lettering. And that was probably my number 1 choice if I was able to get that. I think that's a unique color. I like the matte finish, the white logos, it all looks really well put together. But they unfortunately did not have that at the bike shop I was buying for, and it was not discounted at the time. It was still asking for full MSRP if I did order. So my only con with this, I guess my second con with this, is mainly the color scheme is a little bland, but I do like the look now that holographic decals are added on to make it a little more unique. My third con with this bike, and mainly with this build, is the Revol C38 wheel set. For a 38 depth, it has 21 internal width, 28 external width. It is not the lightest wheel set out there. It's actually very stiff, it's durable, it does its job. I don't have any complaints with the wheel set, but for 38 depth, I feel like it could have been a little bit lighter. And then also the tires that come on it, I think they're like S-Works Turbo T2 T5s. They're very durable for what they are. I haven't had issues with the tires and they roll fine, but that leads to other future enhancements I will be doing with this bike. Now lastly, with future enhancements, as I mentioned, I already have a new wheel set coming in, a new set of tires that will be mounted onto the bike. I believe that will be the final upgrade to this bike overall to make things complete. I will make a new video once that new wheel set comes in. There's not a lot of videos on YouTube about that particular wheel set. They are light. There's a Black Friday deal going on. They are shipping directly from China, where most carbon wheel sets are manufactured. So if you are looking for a new wheel set to replace your Tarmac SL8, whatever bike you have, Black Friday, from my experience, usually has the best deals for wheel set. They'll usually get at least like 10, 15, 20% off. They'll either throw in some freebies. They do a little bit better pricing versus the Western brands like Revol, Hunt, Envy. If you are looking for a more budget-friendly wheel set, that's where I would recommend going. Lots of YouTubers out there that recommend XYZ wheel set like Elite, Machine, Yolio, so on and so forth. That will be the next update on this particular bike. If anyone has questions, please let me know. If you need a file for the decal, I'm happy to send you the exact one I have for a size 58. And the only thing I will have it is for the down tube, the head tube, and then the tarmac is on the back. I do not have it on the fork and then the lower seat stay area. So if you do want the measurements for that you unfortunately will have to get that by yourself. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to look at this video, and that is my initial review, or my first 700+ mile review on the Tarmac SL8 Expert. Hopefully more mileage to come, and thanks for watching.